Hello, I'm John Joe. Welcome to Red Alert 3. In today's video is why I kind of wanted to do more Command & Conquer stuff or other games, because this is a free-for-all between 5 players. As you can see, it's quite evenly split. We've got these players here. 2 of them are random, so we don't know what faction they are. So these are the Soviets, and they have, all factions in this game have different build styles. So here we have a power plant being on us, crane being constructed. The Soviets have to place a structure. It gets constructed on the map, making it vulnerable, and then it can be destroyed before it's constructed. However, the Allies over here get to build it in the queue line here, and then they place it down and it gets built very quickly. The Empire of the Rising Sun send out these eggs, and the eggs get deployed somewhere. They can place it down, and this one's going here. This is a refinery, and when it gets placed, it will start to construct, and as you can see, it's now building, and then it will be built quite fast. But they have no ground control, which means they can just expand over here really quickly, whereas both the other factions have to rely on ground control. All these factions play very differently, and I'll try to explain it as I go. But let me know what you think of the Command & Conquer style game casting rather than Line War, because I still plan to do Line War majoritively, but maybe fill the gaps in with some Command & Conquer games. And I may have a surprise, not tomorrow because that's Line War, but the day after that I might do a different game, which might be going a bit of a different route, but this channel is going to be focused mostly on RTS always. Currently it's kind of Line War focused anyway. It definitely is Line War focused, but we are going to be trying to do a couple of other videos meanwhile. If it doesn't work out, we'll just go back to Line War, but for now I want to try and fill in the gap and focus on this channel to see how well they do. Just twice, just these 2 videos for a bit, and I'll decide probably at the end of the month and let you guys know. So thank you for sticking with me. Also, I recorded the Line War videos before I knew I was doing this, so when these come out, myself playing the Line War videos wouldn't really notice. I wouldn't probably have spoke about them. So we have an MCV movement. So the yellow player has built his structures up here and is moving his MCV towards the enemy base. This is a very risky move, and they are the Empire of the Rising Sun, so it does kind of make them vulnerable to this, because they have to place defenses by bringing them out as eggs and then trying to place them down, which the Soviet player will know, whereas he can just place a structure right here. And he's also got some black cannons, because I assume he's aware that the enemy might produce mecha tangus, and to get away they'll have to jump in the air. So we got V2s, they come out and they can be air units. Empire of the Rising Sun don't need to build like an airfield or anything to produce air units. It's just kind of how they work. So he's sold his refinery to use his harvester or ore collector to block any units that come out of this barracks. Fortunately, he hasn't spotted it, because he would switch targets here and he just hasn't, so he's managed to capture this section here. But at the same time, V2 rocket has come up to his actual base and has taken away his crane. It's trying to destroy it. It probably will be successful. We've got a flak cannon, or a couple of flak cannons coming out. He is not successful. I was wrong, so I didn't see these. Meanwhile, blue and red have had a bit of an engagement down here, but we kind of want to keep focus over here. He's managed to run away. He's taken his MCV and he's ran away from that location. He's bringing it into the water. There is a drone over here that can probably see this, and this is the orange player's drone. And it looks like he's set up his base there. He's just going to send his MCV probably around this area or all the way back. Meanwhile, the V2 that's come out from the Soviets, despite being an Empire's structure, is taking on the Empire's Ponyard. The yellow player is really trying to make sure that the light blue player doesn't really get away or gets away too damaged. And he just wants to get back on his feet. He's going to get a refinery on this section over here. Meanwhile, this Tesla coil is tearing up anything and everything in the area. He's now got 2 refinery spaces. Yellow is in a very good position right now. Maybe a little behind on technology, but he's definitely got the eco to support whatever he wants to do next. But this guy's using his ability, this assault destroyer, he's using his ability, which is like the black hole armor, and it draws in fire, so it protects all the other units in the area. So they have to hit this tank, and it will be heavily armored at this point, but cannot fire either. Over here we have a structure being attacked, and the MCV is right between the 2 bases now, so yellow player's done really well for himself to get him situated in a good position right at the beginning of the game. Orange is just building up, which is a shame that he hasn't managed to do much yet, because I kind of like colour orange. It's my favourite colour, as you notice by the text on my videos. But he has expanded down here and he is building up quite nicely. Reds and blue have been engaging quite a lot, and orange is being left to his own devices right now while yellow took out blue. So I guess orange could be building up quite a sufficient army at some point because he's just been left to do his own thing. We do have an engagement going on up here. The orange Mecha Tengus are on the offense. They are trying to take on yellow's base. He's noticed the yellow does have a Mecha Tengu which does not suit his faction. So he knows that he's managed to capture something from light blue because he saw the drone over here earlier. The oil derrick is being attacked by a couple of infantry, and losing that to just some infantry would be a really bad thing to happen. So bringing in a Mecha Tengu to do that. And that will be safe for now, but then they are putting in a building which is going to make it much more difficult. The MCV of the dark blue player has been moved to claim this refinery area over here. And red team has taken the oil derrick, which is giving him 15 every second, or every 2 seconds maybe, and he's going to go on the offense now. He's sending in tsunami tanks and the VXs straight in there. I couldn't remember their name then. At the same time, orange is harassing the yellow and blue player. He spotted the MCV off position right at blue's base, and orange is attacking yellow's MCV there. Meanwhile over here, the dark blue player is really being harassed right now, and these units are going to do a lot of damage, but the MCV can crush them, which is what he's going to try and do. And at the same time, he's just drawing them around to fire from the units and the structure over here. When the V2's on the ground, he can only shoot air units, so he does become a bit useless when there's no air units around when they deploy, but he did that for defense, and Dark Blue's going to lose his refinery over here because they've secured this building here as well that's firing in. And at the same time over here, it looks like, did yellow lose his MCV? It looks like it did go down, and we have a, I can't even remember what they're called, a cruiser. Can't pronounce that. But we've got a cruiser over there from light blue. But yeah, I think yellow lost their MCV, which is going to be a massive blow despite the advantage he had at one point. It's going to be really putting him back and behind in this game. But he does have the eco to come back quickly if he's allowed to do so. So light blue and orange are probably going to be trying to at least help each other for a while, just to get rid of yellow. And orange is harassing yellow. He's turned it into a armadillo, giving it some extra armor so it can survive. Which unfortunately just wasn't going to work because it didn't have anything to protect itself with. We have an engagement over here, which is infantry against the BX. Half health now, so both players have pretty much destroyed their own armies here and are left with just their structures left and a bit to defend with. Both players are not willing to commit too much into this, but Dark Blue is going to try and take out this oil derrick while he can. Meanwhile, the Mecha Tengus are back in down here trying to take on the power plants. And he's trying to build up a wall against this super reactor, because when this blows, it creates a very large explosion, damaging a lot of the base. And yellow is, although very well expanded, is not able to keep these expansions up and running for long. It does keep getting harassed quite heavily by light blue and orange's attacks. Meanwhile, red and blue are at it again, and this multi-gunner turret is shooting at the tsunami tanks over there as they try to poke a hole in, but red is able to keep control over this oil derrick. He's still able to manage to defend it, even over this ridge, and that's pretty much because of the rise of the Japanese army is able to be more adaptable and transform their units to go around this cliff edge. Empire of the Rising Sun, that's what they're called. Almost couldn't remember. But orange is building up quite a force here. Now they do have some armor on, which is the ability you can just deploy on the enemy, on your own units, to help defend against the enemy. And we do have this here, which yellow could easily destroy right now. It's very open, and light blue doesn't really have much going for him right now. Doesn't seem to even have an MCV. But yet still has a docks, which is keeping him in the game, and he can get an MCV from that. Meanwhile, his infantry are doing a very good job of clearing out this area, but there's just not enough of them. The Guardian tank is there trying to shoot in on them. And we've got a King Oni over here, which is tearing up the place, and I think he's going to easily be able to do this. He's supported by some support drops from the Soviets. That is a Soviet support power, so they've spotted this battle, and they're just trying to help the red team push against the blue. That'll be the yellow player doing that, because he's the only other Soviet here. We have yellow being harassed by orange, and orange just has quite a superior force right now, and against tsunami tanks, they just can't do anything against them. So they are getting torn up. The VXs here are just not enough against the VXs in the air. He's taken out the crane, which is pretty much his last port there, and he's also being harassed over here by some sea wings from the light blue player. So every single player in this game seems to be having to deal with a lot of things except for orange, who is just kind of supporting the fight going on here, pushing against the fight over here. He's just got one front, he's got one objective, and he's pushing for it. And he's going to take out this structure here next so he can stop the reinforcements coming in. But we do have a bullfrog in here trying to take out the VXs here, so we switched this one into the air units, trying to take out the mecha tangos on the ground, because they can't shoot the air units when they're in the air, and the mecha tangos are only good at shooting air units when they jump up. Just left the V2 rocket there on his own. Something's going on over here. It's probably still that sea wing that probably got taken out then by the bullfrog. This VX is nearly heroic level, but also nearly dead. He got killed by the flak unit here, which did end up going heroic from that. We have some artillery on the field. Wave Force artillery. You can get them to fire earlier to make faster firing in case you've got enemies that are weaker. They charge up, you can see a light here, and then you can sort of charge them up and then fire, and you can choose to fire early to make it easier for you to take out larger waves of units. So he's jumped the mecha tangos down, and he's going to try and shoot the crane before it builds. So yellow must have his MCB, yeah, there it is. Maybe he did get away earlier, or maybe that's a new one. It looks like a new one. It's deployed right in front of this war factory. But dark blue player has been defeated. I didn't even spot that at first then. The dark blue player has been defeated by the artillery from the red, probably forcing him to quit. If I got that wrong and you saw it on the map, let me know what happened there. I'm pretty sure he gave up and left. We still have 4 players, so even though light blue was destroyed first, pretty much, he's still in the game. And if this was a tournament, he would still not be last. He managed to survive as long as possible. We have a second war factory on the field and a second barracks up at front, and he does have quite a large economy, so he might be able to support that. But red is building up his eco now, taking over this area and taking over dark blue's old location. But now yellow is going on the offense. He has been pretty defensive in most of this game from orange, and now he's going to take out a lot of these because he's not paying attention. There's a lot of bullfrogs on the ground here, and those mecha tangos took heavy damage right then. But now it looks like red is coming in to join the battle against yellow and has caught... all the players have been caught in the crossfire here. The King Uni are chasing out those tangos as they jump in the air, but they can't shoot the air units, so the red player is pretty vulnerable right now. It's tangos versus tangos, and both of these players are... well, yellow players, orange players easily going to be able to take out the red player's ground force because they have no anti-air anymore. So it looks like orange is once again just going to wait this out. He's going to stay above the air and watch the battlefield as it pans out. Meanwhile over here we have a sea wing, which is not called a sea wing when it's in the air, sky wing, obviously. And he's going to try and harass yellow's units on the ground. Over here we have some more harassment going on. Not sure what from. The Shogun battleship. So red sent an artillery ship to come around and take on the refinery of yellow, so he's causing a bit of harassment there. But yellow's building up quite a sizable force. He has had a large eco for the entirety of this game. Sea Wing's coming over to take on the oil refinery, but orange also has a lot of artillery at the sea there. They'd be able to fire up on this quite easily and take it out probably in one quick hit. It looks like he's saving it for something else right now, maybe even defense, but it looks like King Uni and his artillery are going to come down this way. as the air units come over and are pretty much just going to take them out as quickly as they can. Or they're just going to look at them from the sky. There we go, he's taking out the artillery first, because that's probably not a bad idea, to be fair. And he's getting a good scout off on his base, because they've only got one Tengu down there, and if he jumps up in the air, he's going to get taken out by these Tengus quite easily. But if he doesn't, this VX is going to take them out as well. So orange has exploited red's weakness, but yellow is under attack as well, as light blue has built artillery Shogun battleship and is destroying yellow's main location while red destroys him in the north. So unfortunately, yellow had the advantage at the beginning with eco, but has had to be moved into the centre of the field, and is going to struggle with this fight now from now on. So he's going to have to take use of his advantage that he had at the beginning and try and win this game pretty quickly. And unfortunately for red, he is sallying up. He is out of this game, I think, or at least in this area. Sold his MCV, his war factory, and he's just keeping one refinery up and running. Nope, there you go. He has pulled the white flag now. Now it is just orange versus yellow. And don't forget, we've still got little blue here, who is clinging on to this game and causing quite a lot of damage, considering he's bringing himself back onto land, and he is pretty much kicking yellow out of his zone completely while he was building up his forces in the center. I think orange is now just going to focus on yellow, and yellow probably do the same against light blue, because light blue is still quite a small player in the top corner of the map. They're still trying to build up his forces. Do have an engagement going on over here. The VXs took out a oil derrick, and these both are heroic, and they've just gone down. They've both got some max rank, and they were taken out so quickly. But that seemed to be a distraction, as the mecha tankers are coming down, taking out Sputnik over here. They've got some extra armor now, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage and take a few hits at the same time. Light blue has found another harvester he's going to try and take out, which is unfortunate for yellow. He made too many enemies at the beginning of this game. Now it seems that both players are working against him and him only. Those Mecha Tengus have pulled back, but they are going to come back through the air. That's the problem with the Empire of the Rising Sun. They have such fast units in the air and on the ground. They can just hit and run at different angles constantly, and Soviet's units are relatively slow. But it looks like he's going to be on the move. I think he's probably planning an attack directly at the base over here soon, but he's building up quite a large number of Mecha Tengus, and he's bringing the forces together. Do seem to be at a standpoint in this game. There we go, so light blue's brought it, or used his support power to build up some of these guys, tank busters, and they're going to take out the walls here. Probably to build his own walls soon. The walls are pretty much built there purely to defend a little bit, but I think the main reason is against the aerodromes right here. If they jump onto one of your vehicles, you need to start repairing it with a crane or one of your structures, otherwise it won't go away and it will destroy it, and you won't be able to do anything about it. Destroy it over time. Just noticed, orange is still building a very large force of battleships. But both players are just content to expand now. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Whoa. It moves really fast. Right, turn it off. But there we go. Looks like orange is bringing his shoguns around to take out light blue. I wish I had caught that a bit earlier. But light blue has got torn up by all of these shogun battleships, and is now left with just this tower over here. And a refinery? Nope. Yeah, a refinery here. And he's found the MCV. The MCV tried to run away again, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. And blue team has now been defeated, and it's now just orange and yellow. That non-aggressive pact they had has been removed, and he took him out. And now yellow has realised that his arm is probably out of position, which it is. And yellow's going to try and come down and try and attack his main base, because everyone can see that Igor has been defeated. So And now that he's been spotted here, he's going to need to act quick because these units will probably realise and start making their way back to their main base. But it's probably not a good idea to head straight over the enemy's base unless you plan to attack it instead, which is what he's doing. That's alright then. We have a couple of MiGs on the field. Now these are purely air units, and they are anti-air units as well. We've got loads of King Uni here. And these Shogun battleships, he's going to try and attack with a satellite that's going to fall to the ground eventually, and those battleships, I think he was hoping for a bigger base back here. There just wasn't anything there for them to destroy, so these Shogun battleships really need to come back to their main base. But the MiGs are doing a very good job at tearing up the enemy's base over here. And the King Unis over here are tearing up as much as they can of the enemy's army here. Trying to plow straight through it. And we have a vacuum imploder on the field as well, so that is a super weapon that will launch in 5 minutes 30 seconds if neither player can stop it. And the enemy has one too, a Psionic Decimator, which is out of right in the water, very exposed if the enemy finds it. That is their defense to hide. These Shogun battleships are coming around as well. They are searching for targets, and they will find 2 refineries over there if they search the coastline. Meanwhile, these Mecha Tankers are right in the enemy's base here, and it's been forced to try and bring his units back to defend, but there just isn't much left after those King Unis came in to destroy it. Let me know what you think of these battles anyway. Do you like Red Alert 3, Command & Conquer in general? And I'll see what I can do about building more of a video supply of them. Probably once every 2 days, along with a Line War video every 2 days too. Along with a surprise I said about in 2 days, so we'll see what happens. It looks like the yellow player is taking a massive beat, and there's 2 more King Unis come in. We've got a heroic one, fully ranked up one there, and that's going to do a lot of damage. And these Shogun battleships have spotted the refineries. I think they took it out in one shot. I want to see them take a shot over here. There we go, they're taking the hits on the harvester. That did not survive long, nor did that refinery. King Una's over here. This one's got to survive, right? So he's going to try and target this one down first, but if he doesn't kill it, it can repair itself now that it's heroic. And I think it's going to go down, unfortunately. There we go, the King Uni went down. But there is still another one on the field, and what does Orange have? He's got 4 more King Uni to send in. So you kill 2, you get 4 more to rush in, take their place. He's going to take out that power plant as he's spotted. Seems like he's trying to attack move them straight into the battle to get them in quicker, but they are going to separate doing that, and he's got one off here on his own, and he's managed to stop it. But what they do, I can't remember what it's called, Leech Beam. Siphons armour and weapons from target vehicles, so you make them weaker essentially. We have Natasha on the field, so we have a commando, and she will snipe enemy units, and she'll call in an airstrike on these units. And also, if you use her ability, you could take out the person driving this, and then put one of your own guys in there. It's definitely something you'd want to do in this situation. And I think he already has, actually. He's already got that one. That one's yellow. I didn't realise that at the time. Meanwhile, over here, we have those Shoguns coming back around, taking out some more of the coastline stuff. He missed this one. I'm not sure if that was placed after he's gone round, though. We'll have to find that out in a bit. We still have a bit of an army scouting out the enemy's base over here. We have one King Uni going back out now. I think, unfortunately for the Empire of the Rising Sun, they've invested too heavily in the artillery in the ocean. And they've even got Stamor here doing nothing, and production for it as well. So I think if the yellow player is able to keep up production on the ground, there we go, we just saw it happen again. He's used his Iron Curtain to make these 2 units invincible for a short period of time. Which is unfortunate for the orange player, as we have the MCV moving out. And if they have it charged in time, we have a heroic Natasha. She can snipe the pilot of an MCV as well, I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can. As Natasha gets closer to the ground, one of the infantry from the sold off power plant comes out and uses a sword to take out Natasha. Which means orange player is now in the ocean only. but it's very powerful in the ocean. Can they actually bring it round? There's a lot of eco in the ocean too, so they might be able to pull this back around. And especially when they have the artillery, they can keep the coastline clear of the enemy eco. So he's going to have to focus right in the centre on his 5, as the enemy has 5 there, and he can defend with the artillery as well. So if played right, Orange could win this in the long run. We've got Twin Blades now in the field trying to take out these guys, and I think Twin Blades is definitely the way to go. Get a mass load of Twin Blades to come over these guys because they have no anti-air capability. But the Sea Wings are their anti-air. And they're basically like submarines. You can't see them until they attack. They have to be raised out of the water for you to attack them. But Yellow is still on the ground over here and is trying to take out some of the infantry around their structures, whereas Yellow is clearing them out. But I think he's going to be able to defend this one quite well, but if he doesn't, it's only because of friendly fire. So these guys have gone on the ground to bury themselves in there. For extra defense, as the units come in to attack them, is basically a meat shield to allow the artillery to do some extra damage. That vacuum imploder is scaring Orange, and he's just trying to do anything he can to take it out. He's going to bring in some Sea Wings in the air now, some Sky Wings, potentially to try and take that out before the timer reaches 0, but he does have a Psionic Decimator ready, which means he can use that on this to cause a lot of damage before he actually fires it. And then finish it off with the Sea Wings, because he can't kill it directly. Natasha's over here as well, and they're going to fly straight over that. There we go, they got Natasha. There is a flat cannon there, so they are taking some damage now. The Psionic Decimator was used, and it has destroyed most of the structure. I didn't hear it go off or anything, but oh well. And I think he's going to get it, just it can't. Fortunately, he hasn't managed to destroy it. He actually used it over here to take out the Shogun battleships. Unfortunately, I did miss those attacks. Didn't predict where they were going to go. I thought it was going to be a bit later. The Sea Wings now are in the sky, taking control over the air of the base here. Now these MiGs are going to come out, and they can't shoot air units. These MiGs have free fire over these Sky Wings, and they're going to clear out that area pretty nicely. Looks like we're back at a standoff again, but we've got a satellite coming down on this refinery here, and it is going to get taken out, I think. That is a big satellite now. We're at the end stage of the protocols, which I can't see them because they're faction specific, and I am no faction. Over here, Sputnik's coming in to try and expand towards this mecha bay. And these mecha Tengus are vulnerable, are going to try and get hit by something. An airstrike of some sort. I'm not sure what's coming in yet, so you can't really tell. Oh, the toxic waste. And he's bringing in his units over here, and it's about a terror drone. Yeah, he's using the terror drone to turn off their weapons, and the air units are going to take them out. But it looks like he's forgotten to fire. There we go. He's noticed them now, and he's going to fire there now. Just have the mecha bay. Sputnik tried to come in over here to expand, but the Shoguns are going to be able to destroy that quite easily. Definitely feel like Orange lost their advantage here, as most of their artillery has been destroyed. And battles going on across the map, but only little ones. Small harassment tactics going on around, and unfortunately for Orange, I think Yellow is winning most of them. He does have some units in this structure though. He does actually have some visibility over here. And even in this structure as well. So I feel like Yellow could do a bit better at cleaning up at this point. But he is having to contend with multiple battles going on and trying to defend his own stuff from the artillery. And to be fair, that Sputnik is still alive. Even with a harvester right there that could shoot it as well as these battleships that destroy it in one go. So he just hasn't picked to order it. As they're a unit, they will fire automatically. But when it turned into a structure, they stopped firing and got a bit confused. So we have some shoguns here. He's put a bounty on them so that he can actually earn some extra cash, which is one of the protocols. And he's going to take them out with a group of twin blades. And there's even a heroic one there, which is going to cost a lot. And we have some bombs coming down on top of... Actually, I've just noticed. I thought this was a Soviet power, the Japanese power. I remember saying that earlier. I thought it was Soviet support power, but it was actually the Japanese. There we go. He spotted this Sputnik, and there we go. It's no longer there anymore. But these twin blades are amassing quite a large quantity of units. We have an Iron Curtain left over as well, so he should be able to use that at some point. I'm not sure what on. She can't use it on the air units, unfortunately. There are some Shogun battleships exposed right on the front here, and he probably is going to go for it. He's going to go for the eco straight away first. Over here, there's something going on. The Sea Wings are over at this side, which is a bit unfortunate because he's placed a defense there to take it out instead, and the air units have come over this side. And if he knew exactly what was going on, he might be able to take out some of these Shogun battleships, but the Sea Wings are rising up to attack the air. Unfortunately, just aren't strong enough to take out that amount of them. He's found the Psionic Decimator and he's going to go for that now, which will mean he'll have the only super weapon on the battlefield. And there we go, goes down. So now yellow team is looking like they're in a very good winning position right now. The Sea Wings there are trying to run away as well as attack, and they're just not being successful because there just isn't enough of them. But yellow player is more concerned about avoiding them and trying to take out what's left of the orange player. So there isn't much. I don't remember what that actually was then, but something happened there. I'm not sure what that electric spike ball was, but I can't remember. Pretty sure I hadn't seen it before, but anyway, we do have a Kirov trying to rush into this area, taking out some of the air units, but anti-air units. But I feel like he's got a target in mind, and it's probably this refinery. Unfortunately, he's just too much. He's too exposed. He's on his own. And he is not defended at all whatsoever, so he's not going to get anywhere with that. But he will cause some damage as he goes down to that power plant. And he's got another refinery setting off now, so he's going to try and take that over. Some units came in there to try and take out the vacuum imploder, and instead of trying to use the Iron Curtain on his own units, Iron Curtains kill infantry units, so he used it to do that instead. Those twin blades over here are trying to be tracked by these Sea Wings, defend those Shogun battleships, but they have found a refinery exposed, undefended, and have taken it out. Which at this point in the game is a lot of money. To be fair, we have a refinery that is undefended over here as well. There are a few subs over here that could try and take that out. Got the bombs coming down, they're going to go for the power plant by the looks of it. And the MiG is trying to take them out, but I don't really know how much damage that changes, but he did save it by just a fraction of a percent, so if it does reduce the damage by doing that, then he was successful at doing it. But orange has given up now, yellow has won this game. But I will just exit, there we go. We can see the chart now of the units and structures. Thank you for watching. There are 2 videos on screen right now, feel free to watch one of those and I'll see you there. Let me know if you like this video and maybe other videos like it. Let me know what you want to see. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around.